You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
In a row?
Hey, buddy, you gonna eat that sausage?
No, go past this. Past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Tell me something, my friend.
Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the role? Ladies and gentlemen! Your complete attention, if you please.
The Epic Film Guys Podcast. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new Epic Film Guys podcast.
Brand new
149, Justin. Next week, episode 150, for which we are not doing fuck all. Hi,
nothing,
Nick.
nothing at all. And I'm Justin.
Not a
I'm
damn
also
thing.
an epic film guy on this show. And yes, next week is 150, but we are on 149. Very special episode. I'm very excited for this episode.
Are you?
Yes, I am. Dinosaurs!
Ooh,
Rawr! Come on, dude.
Dinosaurs.
You knew I was looking forward to this.
Yeah, oh yeah. This
movie,
is one of your most anticipated of the year. Definitely one of your most anticipated of the year. So, yep, super eager. We're going to be talking about Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom a little bit later on. Full discussion, full spoiler-filled discussion.
Gotta have spoilers. Gotta have it.
Gotta have spoilers. So keep that in mind when we get there. If this is your first time listening to the show, welcome. We usually talk about dicks a lot. That's basically what we do on the show.
Unfortunately, I've attempted to get Nick to tone down the cock talk, as I like to call it, but nope, not happening.
Cocks just excite me way too much.
Dude,
we gotta
even
listen. They have to be prepared. So that way, when they do hear the cock talk, they're not, like, shocked by it. They're prepared. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, this makes perfect sense.
But I like being shocking.
That's true.
I like shock rock. I like some shock cock, man. No, I do not. You know what, though? It's funny, because when I saw Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom for the second time, yes, I saw it twice. I saw it at Dolby, my first showing. Presentation was great. And I saw it yesterday at that theater I like to talk about and boast about on the show all the time.
How many stories is that theater?
It's 6. It's 4K laser projected.
Oh,
it's
okay,
the
so it's
Smithsonian,
laser projected. Okay.
Udvar Hazy, Airbus IMAX. And yes, it's literally only you know how far it is from me. It's a couple miles from my house, and I had to see it in 3D, mind you. But I was surprised that it didn't really bother me. But they had 2 beers there. They had Stella, and they had Shock Top. And there was no way I was drinking Shock Top, so I drank a Stella.
Yeah, I can't say I blame you for that. But if you are just listening to the show for the first time, or if you're a veteran, if you've been here with us 3 years, next week on the show, when we hit 150, it'll be 3 full years of the Epic Film Guys podcast. Welcome and thank you. We really appreciate you being here. We're so glad to continue to provide you with this quote-unquote level of entertainment for the past 3 years. I don't know. Justin, there's something we do every single week on the show where we talk about what booze we have being slithered into our sippy holes. I, of course, am talking about what are you drinking?
I'm back! Puke and rally! Woo! Give me back!
Yeah, whoa, like totally tubular beer, dude. This is the Nend Suds,
the
man.
Early 90s.
The Nend Suds. If you switch around the letters on the words, man, you might get something pretty cool, something bodacious for a babe, man.
What?
Like back in the day.
What is happening right now? Is it 1991? Is that what's happening right now?
The beer I'm drinking is from Aslan, of course. Aslan Beer Company in Herndon, Virginia, right down the street from me. Of course, it's always going to be Aslan. Maybe once or twice. But this is an interesting beer. It's called Nend Suds. If you turn around the letters, it's Send Nudes. Oh. And if you look at the awesome can art, it's actually it's definitely early 90s, late 80s inspired with like a bald chick with sunglasses on. I could not pass up getting this beer. It's a triple IPA, and it's their collaboration with Heist Brewery, which I've never heard of. Listen to this, though. Citra and Nelson hops, milk sugar, mango, gooseberry, and this thing's got black pepper in it, Nick. Have you ever had a beer with black pepper in it?
Probably. I would say no, but I've had a lot of beer.
Okay, so have I, but I'm just saying I've never had a beer where I knew beforehand that it had black pepper in it. When I first had it the day that I got it, before I went to see Fallen Kingdom the first time, I drank it pretty quick, like within 10 minutes. Not a good idea. That pepper really, like, literally burned my throat. But upon drinking it this evening, as we're discussing movie stuff on the show, it's pretty good.
Is that what we're doing?
Well, we are the epic film guys. So I hope so. We're always questioning what we're talking about. Like our patron-only segment, we were just talking about music the whole time. But this is good. I like it. It's 12% alcohol by volume. And, of course, no information on IBUs. I definitely enjoy it. But a lot of Aslan's triple IPAs, I'm not going to lie, taste very similar. They have similar hop profiles, very citrusy, very tropical. I like the milk sugar. Definitely adds a different kind of texture to this one. It's definitely not as boozy as some of the other ones they've done.
It's a little creamier then.
Definitely creamier. It helps with the alcohol level on this one, but it's not boozy. I've had triples from them that were like 15, and they get pretty bad.
They probably add. I bet you like they add the lactose in there just because it's probably super boozy otherwise. So the creaminess probably helps to temper it just a little bit.
But honestly, on this sip, I'm barely getting any of the pepper, which is way different than my first experience. Like literally, my throat was burning. It's a little on the back end, but that's fine.
It's a little weird, Lieutenant.
It's a little weird, Lieutenant. Thanks for the tip, Dwayne. What do you got? Goes on down your goals, thing. Yeah.
Damn it. Well, Justin often scolds me on the show because I am about a mile or so away from the North Brewery on Washington Street in Endicott, and I never go there, literally ever. All right. But they were having an event this past weekend, and the Smoky Legends barbecue truck was there, which I'm going to be reviewing on the restaurant coming really soon. Their barbecue is amazing. Their brisket is hands down. Talk about pepper, Justin. The nice peppery bark on their brisket is just out of this world good. Best fucking brisket I've had within 100 miles of this place. It's amazing. But North was having an event called Hold On to Your Butts. Of course, a quote from Samuel L. Jackson's character in the first Jurassic Park film. Every single beer that they had on tap was themed after Jurassic Park. They had, like the one I had yesterday when we did our little mini-sode, Paul Kirby's Desperation. They had Don't Go Into the Long Grass. They had the Mrs. Malcolm, which is actually a Nelson hopped IPA that I kicked because I wanted a crowler of it. I also had, in the patron-only segment, I drank some Raptor Blood, which was a cherry sour that they way overcharged at $7 for a 12-ounce bottle. Absurd. And then they also had
You didn't say the magic word.
Yeah. So that one was breakfast stout. Wasn't all that good. It was actually $8 a bottle. I was not paying that for that because it was not that good. But this is the beer that replaced the Mrs. Malcolm that I kicked. Justin, this is Don't Get Cheap on Me, Dodson. It doesn't say Dodson. It just says Don't Get Cheap on Me is the name of this one. This is also a fantastic IPA. It's got more of like a piney kind of resiny flavor up front, and it balances out into some floral and into some citrus kind of mid sip. It's not as good as the Mrs. Malcolm was. That was a much more tropical, much brighter, much easier drinking IPA, but this is still really, really good. Perfectly themed for tonight's discussion of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And I actually went somewhere and did something. Like, it was a really fun event, except for the fact that Jurassic Park 3 was the movie that was on the TV the whole time I was there. Yeah. But
and if you want reference for that, definitely check out our sequel retrospective that we released earlier in the week.
Please do so. Yeah. But yeah, Jack, the owner, was dressed as John Hammond. The bartenders were dressed as Grant and Ellie. Like, an actual, like, really in depth with the costumes too, like down to the hat. Ellie, the girl, was even wearing the boots like the Ellie wears in the first movie. Like it was
Rad.
all nicely detailed.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. It was really, really cool. They had all this cool decor in there and like dinosaur heads. Somebody was outside in a T-Rex costume. You know, those really cartoonish, silly T-Rex costumes?
Yeah, the ones I said, dude, everyone's got those. Yeah. I think Alamo here had someone running around out front in one of those, but yeah.
So it was a really, really, really fun event. So I've got some good beer and it's perfect to talk about dinosaurs. And before we get any further into the show, Justin, of course, was not here last week. Thank you very much to Gerald and to Caleb for joining us on the show. We really, really appreciate you guys being here. But Justin, you went to Long Beach Island again. It's your annual ritual.
Again. That's right, Nick, because I go every year. It's where I proposed to my wife, because she had been going there every year since she was a kid, pretty much. And this year was actually our 5-year wedding anniversary, and we celebrated it there at the beach.
Wow.
Yeah, man. And which is weird. You know what's weird about this? I never planned it this way. And we both realized it, that we got engaged on June 23rd. Do you know what June 23rd is, Nick? It's the anniversary of the movie that brought the epic film guys together. It's the date that it was released in 1989, which I didn't plan. I didn't plan on having both days be special so I could celebrate them both on the same day.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I proposed to my wife on the date that Tim Burton's Batman was released. So I get to celebrate two things in the same.
I've never seen it.
Damn you. You and you trolling on the Facebook page there. You had to do it.
And then I did later post the commentary. We did that commentary way back, episode 73 at this point.
Crazy.
So forever ago, we did that full commentary of Tim Burton's Batman 1989. Yes, absolutely the film that brought the epic film guys together, because it is the greatest film of all time. Just
and so simple. I mean,
it has the greatest character of all time in it. So you can't.
Eckhart and Knox. If it didn't have Eckhart and Knox, I don't think that it'd be as good.
Christ.
It wouldn't be as entertaining. I mean, still to this day, one of my favorite shots of any movie of all time is Eckhart. Think about the future, and you just see the look on his face. He's ready to die. He knows that in 2 minutes he's going to have a heart attack from the fucking donuts he ate before they went and access chemicals anyway. So he's like, just put me out of my misery. He's got indigestion really bad. He's feeling it coming on. He's getting that pain in his shoulder. Go ahead, kill me. I'm fine.
One of my favorite, it actually, when I was pulling through EFG history clips, it actually came up. I think I cut it out. No, I actually didn't. I didn't cut it out. When I was listening through our Fan Celebration 1, episode 52, hosted by Emily of Then the Classy Little Podcast, now the Story Behind, who is working hard to get her book published. She's got to have her book in at the end of the month, and she's been busting her ass getting it written. So good luck to Emily with that. We really, really, I can't wait to read it. I know Justin.
We wish you luck, Emily. We love you, Emily. You're the coolest person in podcasting ever.
So it's like I mentioned. I think what the question that somebody asked us was, if you could ask for one tattoo to be given to the other person, you were going to give me a tattoo of Eckhart, and I was going to give you the picture that Bob the Goon takes of fucking Knox.
Of Knox.
That black and white fucking photo when he's got that shit-eating grin on his face, and I was like, you can get this as a whole back piece on your fucking back.
I still tell Danielle all the time, like, my back is empty. I got a lot of tattoos, I got sleeves, whatever, but my whole back's empty. And I seriously, if I had the money, if I was loaded and I had money just to blow, I would get Eckhart and Knox just full back piece. Just them. Nothing Batman, just those two.
Get him,
the shit-eating grin, and then Eckhart.
Mid-cigar flick. Just mid-cigar flick. Just the cigars in midair in between them.
That'd be like a portrait shot of both of them in the alleyway area, and that'd be great, dude.
I don't even know. Like, no one else would have a better tattoo than that. No one. Name one person. Where Disney, listen, I know the rumors were that you were shutting down all the standalone Star Wars films. Now you're not shutting them down. Now you're still doing them. Where is our goddamn Porkins A Star Wars Story? Where is it?
That would sell. Every Star Wars fan would shut the fuck up and be in line for that. How much you want to bet? Seriously. It's Porkins, dude.
Who would you get to play Porkins, though? And
I don't know. Who can have any kids?
Would they go method? Like, they'd have to go method, and they have to get, like, gigantically fat before they play the role. I'm getting there. I could maybe. I'm not short though, so I'm not rotund.
That picture's floating around of you as Porkins.
That is
that
true.
I see all the
Put that
time.
together.
Yeah.
So yes, that is very, very true. Speaking of movie theaters and fun stuff, which actually it's really funny because Brantley just posted something to the dumpster while we were recording here tonight that I saw in between our break from the patron-only segment. But AMC, as of tomorrow, I will be able to subscribe $20 a month and get 3 movies a week. Can be the same movie, can be all the same day, can spread it out, whatever. I always lament on the show, and I think I even did last week on the show, that I never get a chance to see anything because, unfortunately, my movie dollar can only stretch so far. But I'll be able to pay $20 a month now and go to the movies 3 times a week. So I'll be able to see probably almost as many movies a month as Justin. I mean, we still know Justin sees, I mean, they have the Alamo parties, all that different shit. So you guys get to see all sorts of weird stuff on the big screen that I wouldn't get a chance to, but it's coming. It's coming. I can't wait. And a big fuck you to MoviePass. And Alamo looks like they're testing the waters and maybe following
They're
suit.
doing it. That's right. Yep. They're doing it. It's an Alamo subscription as well.
Regal and Cinemark, all the other major theater chains are going to follow suit. And MoviePass can, if you're a listener of the show and if you're somebody that uses MoviePass, that's fine. You do you, whatever. And I've gotten into discussions, we'll say discussions to be nice, about it online, but I'm sorry, but they're fucking thugs and bullies. That's what they tried to do. They tried to come in with this sweetheart song of, yeah, you pay us $10 a month, you can go to the movies as many times as you want, once per day, you can see them $9.99 a month. But that business model is not sustainable. So what they wanted to do is subscribe as many users as they possibly could and use that to leverage theaters into giving them a portion of their concessions. That's what they wanted to fucking do. And the theaters called their bluff. AMC's the first one to do it. Alamo's going to follow suit. All the rest of these big chains are going to fucking follow suit. And MoviePass is going to be fucking dead. And then we won't have MoviePass shoving garbage like fucking Gotti down everybody's throats. A film that has more fucking like audience reviews, like how, I forget what the percentage was, but it was like 3/4 of all the accounts for
That's
audience
right.
reviews on Rotten Tomatoes were all created in the month of June and only reviewed Gotti or Gotti and that other fucking movie that
the
they
only
own.
positive that the film, only positive notes the film received.
Like legitimately trying to pad out fucking audience scores to and legitimately shitting on the art of film criticism. And we have a lot of fun on this show. We talk about a lot of dumb shit on this show, and we talk about dicks a lot. But I still consider us film critics, and I still take the art of film criticism somewhat seriously. Because I think it is important. I really, really do. I think film analysis and film discussion and film criticism are important fields. And, you know, they are just actively going out of their way to shit on anybody who does film reviews. And I know a lot of people are like, well, I don't care. I'm going to the movies for $9.99 a month and seeing a movie every day if I want. It's fine. You do you. But yeah, they're dead in the water because they've had some investor who just has millions and millions of dollars just funneling cash into them to keep them solvent. But once all these theater chains come out with these far better deals, because you can't pre-order tickets with MoviePass.
That's right.
You can't see the same movie twice in the same day or see more than one movie in the same day. Like, they're going to die. They're going to die, and nobody's going to fucking care. And then, like I said, they're fucking thugs and bullies. That's my opinion on the matter.
It was predictable, in my opinion, that at some point the theater chains were all going to do their own version of the model, the business model, and
I'm glad they called their bluff.
Put it out of business. Yeah. I mean, because they knew. I mean, at this point, there should not be a monopoly in that sense of one company basically strong-arming all the theater chains.
Yeah.
So,
and that's what they wanted to do. That's why they offered such cheap subscription rates and basically ran at a huge deficit with this investor funneling tons of money into them because they wanted to get a subscriber base big enough to quote unquote give them a seat at the table so they could strong arm theaters into giving them a portion of concessions. And I love that theaters were like, no, go fuck yourselves, called their bluff, and now we're offering better plans. You can argue and say, oh, well, it's $20 a month versus $10 a month. Yeah, but I get to pre-order my motherfucking tickets, and I don't have to take a picture of my fucking ticket and send it to MoviePass.
I mean, dude, a lot of people I know that go to Alamo, not going to name names, but the way they get around it, because you can't pre-order on Alamo's app, is they do order their ticket, regular price, right? They go into the theater, they refund that ticket, and then they use MoviePass on site. And Alamo has actually been allowing that as far as to my knowledge. That's how people are getting around it. When you have your AMC, what's it going to be called?
It's just their Stubs program, I think. I think they're just adding it as part of the AMC Stubs program.
Because I have a Stubs too, so I might even think about doing it. But I don't know if it excludes the Dolby stuff or the IMAX stuff or not.
It includes, and that's the other thing about MoviePass. MoviePass excludes.
Really?
MoviePass excludes everything. You can only get regular showings.
Yeah.
But AMC is going to be Dolby, 3D, and IMAX. Everything.
That's amazing, dude.
You can
I might even do it. Just
if I had an IMAX theater here, I could go to fucking see a movie in IMAX 3 times a fucking week. Like, dude, that's fucking crazy good. And the ability to pre-order tickets, the ability to have those better fucking shows, and the concession discounts and everything else I'm going to fucking get. You have any idea how much money I'm going to save going to the movies now a month?
Well, here's the only thing, Nick. The only thing that you'll need now is for AMC to actually redo parts of their theater. AMC,
that'll be the only shitty thing is I'll have to spend more time in those fucking exam tables, as I like to call them.
Yeah, I know you love those seats so much.
Fucking exam
They're like your
table
favorite
seats.
thing in the world.
God damn. Unfortunately, I did not have to sit in the exam table seats to watch the film that we're going to be reviewing after this break for some EFG history. Justin, it's finally time. And I don't know how we managed to do an hour and 20 minutes on the Jurassic Park sequels and never once talked about Fallen King. We did like once, only to mention the very, very beginning of the film.
Dude, I literally had to bite my tongue on plenty of occasions because there's so many comparisons. There's so many things that I wanted to mention in connection to the previous films.
So much to talk about with this movie.
Yeah, I can't wait. We're going to get into it.
Yeah. So stay tuned. We're going to roll some EFG history for you. And then when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, it's motherfucking dino time.
Rawr. We'll be right back.
This week in epic film history.
Please let me know what your favorite dinosaurs are. I'm assuming he's talking actual dinosaurs, not from the show where you're like, oh, Robbie, because he has
Earl?
a really cool sports coat. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking Earl, but
yeah, Earl was awesome.
My favorite is Tyrannosaurus. I don't care. I don't care if he's derpy and he has the small arms.
It's like a metaphor for Justin's entire life. He's derpy and he has small arms.
I've got actually very long arms.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. This is episode 104 of the Epic Film Guys podcast. That's 2 years of podcasting, baby. 2 years, Justin. We did it. I'm going to drop it here. Here it is.
You couldn't have come up with a better, you should have gotten the cheers from Raw or something, man. Come on. The smattering of applause just for that.
That's all I've got for you. It's just the smattering of applause. There it is. We'll give it one more time. One more time. But yeah, it's absolutely wonderful to have been podcasting for 2 years, and God, we're just going to keep on rolling, and we're going to keep rolling.
Yeah, keep rolling. What?
You earned that.
Sorry.
She's got to have something. So, Emily, what are you drinking?
Well, I have.
Whoa.
I am celebrating you guys with Abbazia Cuvée Prestige Extra Dry Sparkling Wine from Italy.
That is amazing.
Oh, man, you have no idea how long I had been holding on to that cork, waiting for you to get to me so I could finally pop it open.
Translation, shut up, Nick and Justin, so I can drink.
I'm sorry here. I like to talk about my beers.
Oh, don't worry about that. I had a pre-game wine. Is that a thing? That's still classy, right?
That's a thing.
Yeah.
That's
Wait,
a thing.
Is it classy?
You're on the Epic Film Guys podcast now. You don't have to be classy or
I don't have to be classy. I
We
can just be
relatively
epic.
have hobos running through here.
The trashy little podcast.
Yeah.
Sounds more
Ooh.
right. If you're on here, I'm saying if you're on here, once you're on yours, that's fine. Yeah, but once you're on here,
No, everything I do on here is epic.
Yes.
So,
there you go.
it's great.
Epic and possibly trashy.
Only if I have a character come out of me somehow.
Listen, the Lisp is going to have enough things coming out of him later, I'm sure, when he gets to the club. Whatever he ends up doing, I don't even know.
Coming out of him and going into him, probably, and I'll have to feel that in the morning, man. Please don't wish that upon me. Please don't.
No, be nice to Justin.
I'll tell you right now what I like to drink, and it's nothing any of you fancy smancy assholes like to drink up in downtown New York. I like to drink a good PBR. Give me a PBR, Miller Lite, Keystone Light. I even like me some Bush. Whatever you have to give me on that evening that I'm asking for from you, I'm fine with. Now, I have a couple of times had these things that you call an IPA. It starts with an I and then it ends with an A. There's, I think, a P or a B in the middle. I don't know what that is. I don't like how it tastes like a bitter candy, like a bitter butterscotch candy.
Instantly piss ass.
But I like me a good PBR. Give me a Bush Light, or give me any kind of piece of shit beer. I'd rather have that than anything else. No more further questions that I would require in this category. That's the end of the story.
Do you need your lawyer present, Hopester Justin, to answer questions?
A lawyer? I haven't had a lawyer in 35 years since I divorced my bitch wife. I can't even afford to eat on a daily basis. I'm hoping for you to give me enough quarters so I can buy a double cheese at that McDonald's on the corner.
Life finds a way. And apparently, so does Hollywood. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to review Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Full spoilers.
So much has been leading up to this. Full spoilers.
Yep.
We did our full retrospective on the original Jurassic Park to celebrate its 25th anniversary this month. And we just did a full retrospective on all of the sequels leading up to Fallen Kingdom. So we're finally here, Nick. I'm really excited to get into this. So for those of you that don't know what this movie's about, if you have seen the first Jurassic World, you kind of know that it left it out where the dinosaurs are back on the island by themselves. They're roaming around free. No fences.
Whatever happened to Site B?
Well, we're going to get into that, Nick. There's definitely going to be a lot of talk about that.
I really want to know
so
what
again,
happened to Site B, because they didn't mention it at all. I mean, it very, very, very loosely touched on in Jurassic World, but are there still dinosaurs on Site B? I don't even know.
We saw Site B at Jurassic Park 3, and they didn't kill all of them off with a dormant volcano that never existed in the first place until they needed it for the story. So yes, this movie takes place. We are on the original island from Jurassic Park, where Jurassic World also existed. Apparently, there's a dormant volcano that we never knew about from any of the previous films that's roaring to life, and it's about to explode lava all over the dinosaurs. And Claire...
This sounds oddly sexual.
Well, yeah, it's going to explode all over your... I can't even go there. Not going to happen.
And we almost got the lisp back there. Damn.
Whoa, I don't want to go back. This isn't nostalgia for the epic film, guys.
I got you drinking fucking Sequench, and now all of a sudden...
I'm drinking Sequench Sessions. This thing's a piece of shit,
It's garbage. I
should have drank the Narragansett.
Isn't it watered down? Doesn't it taste really watered down?
I just don't like the flavor of it, man. I don't know. So whatever. So Claire now, in this film, is a dinosaur lover. She's an animal rights activist.
She works for Dinosaur PETA.
Yep, get all of the dinosaurs, help get the dinosaurs off the island because they need to be preserved, because from the time that the first Jurassic World is operational to the point when this movie happens, children growing up are used to seeing live dinosaurs. So it's part of their life. So it's like going to the zoo and seeing elephants or tigers. So in her mind, she wants to preserve that because it's part of our society now. So of course, as we always say on the show, they end up going to the island and hijinks ensue. Nick, I don't know anything about how you feel about this movie. We know how you felt about the first Jurassic World, so I'm getting right into it, man. I got to ask you, you're laughing. I think I know where we're going with this. What are your initial thoughts on Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom?
Justin, I had 3 immediate reactions when I walked out of the theater after I saw Fallen Kingdom. Number 1, I want the U.S. government of Fallen Kingdom to be the real U.S. government that we have here in real life. We can elaborate on that more if you really want to. I don't really care. But they're a very libertarian philosophy of government not intervening in things, which is the opposite of what our government always fucking does in real life. I liked that. Number 2, I sent a tweet directly to Colin Trevorrow, linking him to a Wikipedia page to read about pyroclastic flow. And number 3, Prometheus has finally, Justin, been unseated as the prettiest piece of shit in the toilet bowl. This movie's fucking garbage.
Wow.
I
didn't think you were going to go there.
With some caveats.
I didn't think you were going to go there.
Because I'm going to say this from the onset. Bayona directs the shit out of this film. The cinematography, the direction in this film, I think, is probably the best we've seen since Spielberg. Easily. But the problem here, and I said this during our retrospective of the sequels as well, the problem with all of these fucking Jurassic sequels comes down to the asshole that's holding the pen, and that asshole, once again, is Colin fucking Trevorrow, who went to the 2012 Academy of Screenwriting and thinks that human beings can outrun a fucking volcanic pyroclastic flow. Fuck off. Legitimately fuck off. Justin.
Nick, I'm not sure if you're aware of this or not, but this is a movie.
We had this discussion during the fucking retrospective too. I can't disassociate my brain from things I know. I can't do it. I can't.
But I mean, dude, you're watching a movie about
I know it makes a pretty shot
genetically
to see a volcano
engineered
exploding
dinosaurs.
and to see gas and smoke and ash and shit rushing down the mountain at things. I know it looks cool. It looks so awesome. It looks great. But it's not realistic.
None of these films have ever been realistic.
Well, fair. Very fair.
I'm not going to lie to you, dude. I really, upon watching my first viewing of the film, I walked out pretty torn on this. And that's not really how I thought I was going to feel. My expectations were kind of low. Our listeners know, I loved the first Jurassic World. I still think in my heart, and this will ring true at the end of this review, that it still is the closest to that awe that we get in the first Jurassic Park. None of the other sequels get close to that, and I know it doesn't get quite close enough, but it still gets the closest compared to all the other sequels.
I think that, honest to God, I think that Bayona is the best Jurassic director since Spielberg.
So here's the problem, though. This film works for me as a horror monster fan on a surface level beautifully. It does everything it needs to do when it comes to being a B monster movie with a large budget. The problem is, Nick, is as a Jurassic Park movie, it fails on all levels.
Yeah, it does. Yep.
As straight up, like I literally looked at it like, okay, well, I loved Kong Skull Island. Same idea, but I still think even that movie was better. I loved a lot of things about this movie, but equally so, Nick, just as many things frustrated me. My second viewing definitely flowed way better. I got to come out on a limb immediately and agree with you. Bayona is definitely a talent. I loved everything he did in this movie. Yeah. I love the direction he took it.
It's the only thing that will keep me from just absolutely unleashing a torrent of shit.
I'm going to liken it to this, Nick. I'm going to liken it to this. And we talked about this a little bit on our retrospective of the sequels. And I say this all the time, and I make this reference. I'm going to continue to make this reference. Jaws 2. You're never going to get that moment from the first Jaws where the shark comes out of the water the first time. You're never going to get audiences to feel that same feeling they felt when they first saw a living, breathing dinosaur in Jurassic Park. Never going to get it. I still cry. I still get goosebumps when I see that scene in the original. Just a few weeks ago when we talked about the original, it still does that to me. You're never going to get that. So I feel like the filmmakers, when they're thinking about what they can do with it, let's do fan service. Let's make a movie the fans are going to enjoy. Let's make it a top-notch blockbuster, put a lot of money into it so it looks good, make it fun, entertaining, but let's just make it a straight-up monster movie. Because at this point, the audience knows what they're going in to see, and what they want is dinosaurs. Dinosaurs eating people, dinosaurs running and chasing people, and evil, scary-looking fucking dinosaurs. And in the case of this movie, it has it in spades. Yep. It does. It has all those elements perfectly. But my problem is it's frustrating because as a fan of Jurassic Park, this is not Jurassic Park. And I think that I need to accept the fact that this movie is called Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom. The previous film was that kind of like what, The Force Awakens was. It's like, let's get them back. Let's give them the nostalgia. Let's get them back in the seats. Let's give them what they know they love. This film still does that. There's still tons of nostalgic throwbacks in this and Easter eggs. We're going to get to those.
Lots of stuff.
But let's just make it our own. Let's just go with it. And that's what they did. And it's a mixed bag for me as well, Nick. I did not walking out loving this. There are things I do love about it. But again, going back to what I said earlier, where was this volcano in the first film? was it ever mentioned? I don't recall any volcano being ever mentioned in any of the previous films.
And unfortunately, it's Jurassic Park scriptwriter-itis, wherein things only exist in the script because it requires them to. Now, is that on the level of bad of the people mysteriously disappear off of the boat at the end of The Lost World or at the beginning of Jurassic Park 3? I don't necessarily think so.
No, I don't think so, no.
I think I agree with you in a lot of aspects. I agree. In terms of just a monster movie, especially the second half of this film, just as a monster movie, it works really, really well on that level. It really, really does. But the problem is that you can't disassociate yourself from the fact that this is still a Jurassic Park movie. And this is a pretty extreme position to take, but I'm going to take it. I think what we all, as an audience and as people, need to do is we need to understand that the original film, masterpiece though it is gone. In terms of what we're watching on the screen, what we're getting now, in terms of the amount of effort that goes into writing the scripts, at least, is more akin to a goddamn Transformers film than it is to a Jurassic Park film. But instead of fucking robots, they're dinosaurs. The plot makes no fucking sense. And it's pretty. It had a lot of cash injected into it. Bayona is a hell of a fucking director. I definitely got to keep my eye out for this guy. But it just, like, holy mother of fuck. There's an entire, 5-minute scene where Chris Pratt goes all commando on, a whole bunch of big, muscle-bound motherfuckers and kicks all their asses. Straight out of a superhero movie. Lifted straight out of a fucking superhero movie, that fucking scene was. I know he was in the Navy, but, for fucking real? That sequence
he takes out dudes
too.
with one punch, dude. He takes one dude down basically by spearing him. He gets up and punches another guy right in the and they all just fall down
he goes
with one hit.
Straight up fucking commando and just whips the shit out of all this fucking armed security, big fucking burly dudes that you would think they are probably as effective at their jobs as the asset containment unit is in the first Jurassic World film.
I knew you were gonna bring that up. I knew it. Except for and guess what? They bring back those little mini dollar store cattle prods in this one as well. When the plot requires them to have them, instead of having a machine gun in this scene, no, we have to give them the cattle prod, because if he has the gun in this scene, he would just kill them. But you know what? You mentioned Chris Pratt. I want to get to this right now, because there's plenty of things that I want to talk about. I don't think we should just go into the things we did like, things we didn't like, because we're already in a mixed bag here. So let's just jump in with the characters of Fallen Kingdom. Now, I'm going to make this clear, because I reflected on this after watching Fallen Kingdom and after we did our review of the first Jurassic Park and after sitting down and talking about all the sequels. The Jurassic franchise, Nick, has never been as much about characters as it has been about the dinosaurs. Luckily, in the first film, however, we did get enough character where it makes it very special. We love those characters. We want to see where they go. Unfortunately, the sequels don't take them places that are very interesting to an audience member. But in this movie, they already know that. We had Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, Claire and Owen from the first Jurassic World, which I liked. I definitely like them. I think they're likable characters. I think they serve their purpose to the story.
I think their chemistry in this film is much better than it was in Jurassic World. I'll give them that.
They definitely have that. But my problem is there's not really one speck of development for one single character in this film.
And you know what? And the worst part about it is there's a gotcha moment about 3/4 of the way through the film. We're introduced in the film to James Cromwell's character, Lockwood, who is one, apparently they're going way back, and he was one of the people that started it all with John Hammond. This whole dinosaur cloning process, it all began in the basement of Lockwood's gigantic mansion home. And he's got this granddaughter running around. And spoiler alert, they reveal later on in the film, toward the end of the film, that she's not actually his granddaughter. His daughter died, and he and Hammond had kind of a split because he cloned his daughter. This is a clone of his daughter, his granddaughter. That's right. And it's weightless. It's dramatically empty because they don't spend any time investing us.
Dude, it feels
in
so out of place.
Yeah.
It makes me feel weird when they mention it. I'm like, why did
you don't spend enough time investing us in these characters to make us give a shit.
I won't lie. One of the standouts for the new characters to me, and I'm going to get to the new characters in a minute. Ooh, you just wait about that. Ooh, yeah. But Isabella Sermon as Maisie, I thought was fantastic.
She was great.
Amazing young actress.
There are elements of this film, I'm going to refer back to this a couple of times, that it hasn't been this good since the original film. And she's one of those elements in terms of child actors, in terms of kids, like exuding that kind of fear that they need to sell the tension of a scene. I think she does it way better than we've seen ever since Lexington in the first film.
In any of the sequels, definitely in any of the sequels.
Absolutely.
She
was absolutely amazing. But you mentioned old characters, Justin. Can we talk about how useless Ian Malcolm is in this film?
We all knew it was going to be a glorified cameo.
He bookends the fucking film for literally no reason. And yes, you're right. We knew it was going to be a glorified cameo, but even still, what a waste. Like, you couldn't even have some kind of scene where involve him. I don't want him running from dinosaurs. I'm not saying I want that, but I'm saying if you're going to bring Malcolm back,
at least interacting with our main characters, at least something like that.
Bring him back for something, except for like all he does is he sits in front of fucking Congress at the beginning and the end of the fucking movie and talk about.
But he shot all in one day. He shot all that in one day.
Literally stupid amounts of fucking money. It's like, don't bring him back. Don't even bring him back. If this is all you're going to do.
Well, he signed on for 2, so he's probably going to be back in the next one.
Well, good. I hope a fucking T-Rex eats his ass.
I love Goldblum. God bless him. I can't wait to meet him in August.
I'm glad he's still getting work. I am. And I love the character of Ian Malcolm. I love it. But this was just a waste.
It's fan service. It's fan service, and for other fans,
service. That they're fan service for fan service's sake.
I understand what you're saying. I mean, I liked what he had to say in the beginning of the film. I didn't think he needed to open the film and end the film, but definitely, literally, I know that most fans that I've seen on social media comment they were happy he was in it, and whatever. It is what it is. It didn't like really make or break anything for me. But I'm going to get into them introducing new characters. Now, we know that we're not going to get much development from Owen and Claire. I think they serve their purpose in the film. The pacing in this movie, which we'll get to in a few moments, is breakneck. So it leaves you no time to really get invested in any of the characters, the new characters at all.
Of Ela Nublar, like that. Like,
it's done.
Quick,
like, man. It jumps right in, man. It gives you the goods. It literally gives you what you're going in to get, and then it doesn't give you anything else, really. But see, here's my problem with introducing new characters. I'm fine with it if they're likable. Now, a lot of people give the young kid shit from Jurassic World. I don't think they're great. I don't even necessarily think they're that good, but I think they're digestible.
Underdeveloped.
They're underdeveloped, but I think they're fine. Not like Justice Smith as Franklin, who made me want to see him get eaten immediately. He's obnoxiously annoying. I know that's the point. People find that funny for some reason, Nick. People were chuckling at this character. I'm like, dude, I want you dead.
He had
Stop mentioning the T-Rex.
Good lines.
Stop mentioning the T-Rex, dude. If you mention the T-Rex again, I hope the T-Rex comes and rips you in fucking half and I get to see blood splatter everywhere because whoever this kid is, I don't know him from anything else. So if our listeners know him from another show or movie, you tell me. I think he's obnoxiously annoying. I couldn't stand him in the film. And the only other new character that I actually thought I would have liked to see more of is Zia, played by Danielle Pineda.
Yeah, I liked her. I liked her a lot.
You get nothing of her. You get nothing of her. She's obviously supposed to be a strong female character. You don't give me enough of her to care. And you have her in crucial scenes. I understand you need that character there. We know that Claire and Owen aren't going to do some of the things she does because she's a paleo veterinarian. Is that correct?
Yep.
Am I correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, somehow without ever seeing a dinosaur, she's studied this and she knows how to do what she's doing in the film when crucial scenes occur.
This is my problem with these kinds of Jurassic films, and every single film has done it, and they all follow the same formula of you only see the good dinosaurs first, except for the cold open, which the cold open in this movie was fucking brilliant.
Dude, I loved it.
I about came in my pants, dude. It's one of the best Jurassic Park sequences ever put to film.
Ever. Dude, oh my God. Yeah. I had chills. Because none of us knew how it was going to open.
The movie would have fucking been like that, man.
Dude, the underwater scenes were done beautifully. Yeah. Tension. It was scary. And I'm going to get to the scary stuff the further along we get with this review. But dude, there's a shot when they're down underwater, and obviously they're like whatever would be down here would be dead already. Of course they're going to say that. But us as the audience member, that's the kind of line I like. I'm like, okay, we're in monster movie territory. I'm fine. But then you see the shadow, the lightning hits it. You see the Mosasaurus going above them. That made me excited. And then, dude, they made Rexy scary again. You know, the lightning hits and the rain, and they had that atmosphere. And then she runs over and she's chasing him. And you can tell she's slower because she's old. But then she grabs on and she's like, pull it. And then the Mosasaurus comes out. Good. Dude, loves that sequence. Great opening. Yeah. I think if the opening wasn't as good as it was, the film would not be nearly as good because it sets you up like, dude, like it gets you on a high. Yeah. So the rest of the stuff that you have to sit through before you get to more dinos is
incredible. It's really, really incredible.
I'm done with hating on some of this stuff here. I'm ready to get into one of my favorite things about the film, and I think you know this is coming.
Oh, yeah.
I think all of the dino action is done perfectly, and I loved the Indoraptor. I love the design. That thing is menacing. It's scary. It's smart. I love the way it looked. Not only that, Nick, but 6 times I counted. 6 times where the filmmakers did pure animatronics. In scenes up close of Blue, it's a full raptor animatronic. Some of the claw coming out of the cage for the Indoraptor, full puppet arm. The head of the Indoraptor in 2 scenes, actually 3 scenes, excuse me, full puppet head. They did so much practical work in this. I don't know if you noticed it or not, but I noticed it even more on my second viewing. I counted a few more shots. The Stegosaurus, when that piece of shit, who I don't even know who his name is, that's pulling teeth off the dinosaurs, they do an up-close shot of a Stegosaurus. The full front of it and the head is full practical. It's animatronic.
Yeah, there are a lot of practical effect shots in this film. A lot of, they built animatronics or whatever the case may be of the dinosaurs, and that was one of those things that was very sorely missing in Jurassic World.
We had one shot,
like 1 or 2 shots, the Brachiosaur, and then I think there might be one other one. But
they use in the scenes where the raptors have their heads in those
those
braces,
are actual
like
real
the muzzles.
Heads,
they use those for they did CG over them, but the base of it is still practical, so you can kind of tell the difference a little bit.
This one they actually built real effect, and it's not lost on. It's not lost on that. It's really, really not, because it is beautiful. I gotta huge ups to Oscar Farah, the DP on this. Absolutely fantastic. And like I said, Bayona, and I watched a couple of different reviews and I read a couple of other different reviews that I really agreed with. The way that they move the camera in this film, Justin, is a lot different than anything else you've ever seen in a Jurassic film before. A lot of the ways the camera like cranes up and around and upside down and all around different objects is really, really inventive. There's some amazing camera work that's done in this film, and that's why it's so hard for me, on one hand, to have walked out of this extremely disappointed, but on the other hand, extremely pleased because of just Bayona. Like I said, he's the best Jurassic director since Spielberg. Period.
I have to say, I'm probably going to go closer to the latter on your statement there, because upon my second viewing, I let my reservations just stay in the back, and I just let it happen to me. I just let it entertain me. And the things that I liked about it, I liked more the second viewing. The things I disliked about it on the first viewing, I definitely disliked more as well. But I was able to get past them. I really have a hard time with the new characters. I really do, because again, we have super annoying characters in Jurassic Park 3, like to the point where it's unbearable. I don't want to watch it. I never watch it again.
Is any of these characters worse to you than Téa Leoni in Jurassic Park 3?
Nothing's quite that bad, but it's almost there. Like I said, Justice Smith as Franklin, literally, like, dude, come on. In a world where we're trying to have empowered characters, strong characters, why are they making this kid like a little bitch? Like, really? Seriously? I mean, he follows through at one point, a crucial part in the film, but he's a little bitch. That's what he is. Stop whining, dude. Man the fuck up, okay? But no, I mean, dude, literally, they got right what I think they needed to get right for this film to be successful, for people to go out and see. And that's why it's making a great amount of money right now. I think that, it's given the goods. I love what they did with Rexy. I mean, they do go a little bit hard on trying to force certain things, and they definitely took exactly the same thing Rexy does from the end of the first Jurassic Park, and they do it again in a different way, and they have her angle herself the same way and do the same exact roar. But for me, like, as a fan, I'm like, it made me happy to see that. And you're right about the camera work, dude. There's some amazing, beautiful sequences here. My favorite still probably is when Maisie, she runs up to her room. She's hiding in the bed, and you see the Indoraptor crawl to the top of the mansion, and the lightning strikes, and it roars, and then it slowly climbs down.
Well, and you
then
get to see the camera. It moves in the window, and it goes upside down into the room and everything like that. Like, there's some just amazing shots in this film. Like, really, really inventive stuff that you wouldn't expect necessarily from, like, Trevorrow didn't do anything anywhere near this in Jurassic World.
No, it's pretty cut and dry with Jurassic World, so I think, as far as very basic.
It's Bayona and Fuara really, really trying to make this film as beautiful as they possibly can, and I think that they succeed in that regard. I don't dislike the Indo. I really, really don't, but for me, it's just more of an extension of that whole
it's a monster
Indominus kind of thing. And I think what would have probably worked better is in the inevitable sequel that we're going to get to this, if they would have given a rest to the genetic engineering thing again and focused more on the plot of, we'll spoil the end of the movie here in just a moment when we talk about it. If they would have focused more on just the existing dinosaurs that they caught, I think it would have been more to the movie's credit than worrying about anything else, if that makes sense to you.
Well, there are other dinosaurs we get in this that are carnivorous. We have the Baronex, which they actually briefly mention, and we get the Allosaurus. We also get the Carnosaurus, and they're all pretty cool. They're brief, but we do have the Baronex actually stalking Franklin and Claire in one scene. I thought it was pretty well done. I liked that. So they do give us hints of, the dinosaurs that we already actually know existed, that were engineered, but they're not actually like this, crazy concoction that Wu made to. Oh my God. We got to get to Wu in a minute. Oh my God. But we get that. So, I mean, it would be cool. I know that none of those dinosaurs are quite on the level of even the Spinosaur, even though we're both not a huge fan of it. I mean, the T-Rex is the queen, so to speak, but they needed something on the level of Indominus. And I have to say, I don't know how you feel about this. I'm actually interested to hear what you have to say. I still think I like Indominus better, but as far as design and how it was utilized, which did you like better between the two?
I think Indominus makes more sense. I think that, once again, and I said this when we did the retrospective as well, the Indo escaping is really less a function of how intelligent the animal is and more a function of how stupid the people are. And
dude, it's literally the worst. It's the worst.
It's so tired of a trope. Like, oh, he tranquilizes the goddamn thing and he goes into the cage and then it's tricking him because it opens its eyes and it kind of even almost, I swear to God, Justin, I expected the fucking dinosaur to wink at the audience. I swear to God, I expected it to
close
wink
to that.
At the fucking audience.
The second viewing, a lot of people were chuckling. They were laughing. They loved that scene. And I know that's what it's there for.
And
it's supposed to be this highly intelligent thing.
And of course he's going to leave the door slightly ajar and he's trying to take the Indoraptor's fucking tooth and all this. Like, holy...
I hated that character. I don't remember what that character's name was, but I literally hated that character. And going back to a character you love from The Lost World, which we haven't even made that parallel. We've said this before when we talked about the trailers. Make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, this movie is, again, The Lost World Jurassic Park 2.0. It's almost the same identical plot except for the ending. But yeah, even the endings is similar in the fact that the dinosaurs get back to the mainland.
Yep.
In this case, they stay on the mainland, but the character that you love from The Lost World.
Yep, Roland.
Greatly performed.
Yep.
You understand his motivation. He's almost like Quint from Jaws, Spielberg's other masterpiece. He's almost like Ahab in The White Whale. He has this dedication to, he wants to take down a T-Rex. I understand it. I don't care for it because I don't like the way people are that are like that. But as a character, it makes sense. In this case, this guy literally is just a piece of shit. He's just one of those safari hunters that pays thousands of dollars to go over and kill rhinos and elephants in Africa. I know those people exist, and I hate them.
And the problem with the film is you mentioned it earlier on, and when we were discussing this, it's the breakneck pacing. You don't even get the chance to develop him as a good villain, as a good adversary. You just don't get a chance to let any of the elements of this film digest.
He disappears for a little while. He pops up, and then he pops up again, and then, of course, we get to see him.
You want to know the thing that pisses me off the most, Justin, and one of the worst fucking sequences of this entire fucking film, okay, is midway through the movie We're on the boat. We've already done the volcano stuff. We're on the boat from Isla Nublar, headed back to the fucking mainland. And you've got Zia and Blue. She's dealing with Blue. Owen and Claire and fucking the annoying kid that you really hate.
Yeah.
They're all there in the fucking thing. Where are all the guards and shit? Where are all these fucking armed dudes who, like, she was under arrest. Like, they had her fucking, like, in captivity. Like, they had her arrested or whatever. And then, like, they had to keep her alive because she's a paleo veterinarian, of course, because she was able to, I don't know, stop the bones from bleeding one time or something. I don't know. But it just, nobody ever notices him on the fucking ship. Like, literally the whole fucking time.
I won't lie to you, though. That led me to one of my favorite sequences of the film. I don't know how you felt about it, but I really, really liked the sequence where they had to go in and get blood from the T-Rex. It gave a great opportunity to see great practical effects. They had an animatronic head. They had a great puppet in that scene as well. And I thought it was fun, and it added a little bit of tension because, make no mistake, there's little to no actual tension or suspense because of the pacing. It doesn't give you any time to slow down to take a breath. It just literally wants to keep punching you in the face. And I get why it's like that. I understand. They tried something slightly different with this. They want to keep the runtime down. Hey, more show times during the day to make more money. But that was one sequence I found pretty fun. You know,
it was fine. It was fine. It fit with, you know, like, I liked Pratt's just a goofball, and I love that they kind of played on that side of him where, like, the T-Rex head swivels over and she's like, "Are you okay?" And then the thumb comes popping up from behind the T-Rex. Like, that's all funny, and it was fine, and it was entertaining and everything like that. I don't have a problem with it. It's just, I think the biggest disservices to this film are the entire second half of the film, where after they get back to the mainland, it is literally so amazingly shot, so beautifully, brilliantly shot. Bayona's use of fucking shadow and darkness here are so pitch perfectly brilliant. As you said, this is a perfect monster movie. Perfect.
It's perfect the in that sense, dude.
The problem being that until the auction happens, and there's a dinosaur auction where they're selling dinosaurs to rich people, what the fuck are you going to do with an ankylosaur? Seriously. You're
put
selling
a saddle
dinosaurs
on it and ride it around.
What get the fuck
Nick,
out.
You're gonna put a saddle on it right around. And mind you, that the dude isn't it the dude that buys the Indoraptor? Isn't he Russian too? I don't know if that was a jab. I don't know if that was a jab or not. I thought it was a jab.
Yep.
He's Russian. He buys it. Even though we were supposed to care about Wu as say, no, it's just I took that they're all females, but he keeps calling it a he. So do they just magically start making them males now?
Putting BD Wong in these goddamn movies, because is Wu a bad guy? Sort of, kind of, maybe, who knows, a little bit, question mark, sort of. Like, he's more than willing to privately continue his genetic research into dinosaurs and develop an even bigger killing machine than the Indominus and the Indoraptor.
Well, yeah,
but then he really gets all butthurt that they're selling it. Because, it's only the prototype. Like, what?
Well, is InGen a thing still, Nick? That's my question, though, because at the end of the first Jurassic World, we see them taking all the specimens. They have everything they need. Why would they need
this
anything
is one of those
else?
things that Trevorrow just leaves out in the fucking middle of nowhere, because InGen was, or at least it's my understanding from watching Jurassic World, InGen was like a subsidiary of or owned by or a part of Masrani Corporation. Now, Masrani, is it still around? They had to pay out like $800 million in fucking settlements from all the people that got eaten by dinosaurs in Jurassic World.
Which they make sure to specify at the beginning of the movie.
But like, InGen is like a subsidiary of them, or Masrani bought InGen or whatever. I have no idea. It doesn't make any sense, and Trevorrow never fucking explains it, because I don't even think Trevorrow knows, and he literally couldn't write his way out of a fucking paper bag. So InGen might still be a thing. InGen might very well sell Ferris wheels, for all we know. Maybe that's their front now. Maybe InGen sells Ferris wheels, Justin, and they're dinosaur themed, so you can sit in a T-Rex car and go circling around up into the sky, and then when you get to the top of the Ferris wheel, it roars and it goes.
Too many unanswered questions. Too many unanswered questions, and Wu just. I don't want to see him in the movie.
Why is he even in it?
If you're going to disconnect yourself and you're going to make this franchise something different, and you're going to move on from the original film,
if he's going to be bad, just let him
make
be
him
bad. Like, if you just take out that whole scene of him, because like they want Blue because they want the next generation of Indo to be reared by Blue, to be given those kind of raptor instincts where you can train the raptor like Pratt's character did with Blue. That's the whole point and purpose of it. But you have Wu.
They only want Blue so that Blue can basically be the mother.
Exactly.
To
and then
the
you've got Wu, who essentially in scenes of this fucking movie may as well have a cartoonish ass fucking mustache. We talked about this in Jurassic World as well. May as well have a giant cartoonish fucking mustache that he's twirling the whole fucking time because he's so fucking like over the top villainous. But then during the auction, he's like, no, you can't sell that. It's only a prototype. Like, what the fuck? Is he bad or is he not? Just make him bad or make him not. Stop with this bullshit. Like, he's got like what, like a sliver of a fucking conscience left? Like, you're not giving us literally fucking shit to do, or you're not giving us any development of his character anyway, so nobody fucking cares. Just do something with him. Something. Anything.
I'm about done here, man. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean...
So it's got to be talked about. Before we rate the film, it's got to be talked about. The ending of this film. The very, very ending of this film. Spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear just this one specific part, whatever. You've already heard all the other spoilers, so whatever. But in the end, Maisie, because she's a clone and she's still alive, decides to release the dinosaurs out of the Lockwood Mansion into the world at large. So you now have, like, the film ends with, like, there's a shot of Blue running up in the fucking hills up behind some fucking town, and Rexy and all the fucking other herbivores and carnivores, and all the dinosaurs are now free and at large in California. So I think I get what Trevorrow wants to say here, and life is precious and life finds a way, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we can't just kill something just because whatever. I get it. Fine on one hand, but do you not think that the moment some motherfucker has a T-Rex showing up in his backyard and eats his kid, that there's not going to be a fucking tank driving through the fucking woods in California shooting that motherfucker and killing it? Like, it's like, just like the logistics, the nightmarish logistics of this. And I guess this is something they're going to have to address in the sequel. For me, it's just like, it's too irresponsible. Like, dinosaurs, go back to the first film. Dinosaurs, Malcolm says, they had their shot, and nature selected them for fucking extinction. You throw them back into the mix after 65 million years. Like Grant says, who knows what to really expect. So you have, like, you're going to have a fucking brachiosaur that's just going to go lumbering through a fucking neighborhood and just
But I don't think that's going to happen, though, Nick. I mean, think about where wild animals live in our world now. They come in and come out of our environment. They come in and come out of the suburbs.
They do.
We'll see deer in our backyard.
We're not talking about a fucking deer here or like a goddamn bobcat. We're talking about like a motherfucking brachiosaur that's like 30 feet thick and weighs like thousands of tons.
I think that where they're going to go with it, and when Trevorrow said we're calling the sequel Jurassic World, it's broader than the idea of a park called Jurassic World. And I knew immediately that the idea of humans and dinosaurs coexisting was always going to be where they ended up if they were successful enough to get
living
there
together. Yeah. Mass hysteria.
Exactly. Well, I mean, literally, that's where they're going with it. And okay, so that's an idea. It's something we haven't seen yet. I guess that I'm open to it in a way, but I don't think we'll see that. I think they're just doing that to get the audience to go, whoa, something's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be like that. I think they're going to, just like our animals that live on the planet now. Bears are going to live in the woods. The Mosasaurus is going to live down at the bottom of the ocean and come up and do its thing whenever it wants to.
Eat surfers.
Human casualties are going to occur when they occur. But these animals, it's hard because we're treated to these animals in a lot of ways like they are monsters. But deep down, we know from the first film, and in some parts of this one, they're just animals. So they can't make up their mind if they're monsters or they're animals. And I think that's where... I mean, again, Trevorrow's coming back to do the third one, so I don't really know how that's going to work out. We'll see if that changes. I honestly, if they're going to do a third one, I'd rather have Bayona come on and do the third one. But I think if after this one, this was his...
This dude is one hell of a fucking talent.
He's great. I mean, I think this movie wouldn't be nearly as good with anyone else behind the camera. I really liked what he did. But, you know, I'm open to the ideas, but I can't say that I'm excited. Because for me, what makes Jurassic Park and the films of the franchise work is that they're on these segregated islands, and that we don't, I just like it that way. So we'll have to see how it turns out.
That what you need to do is you need to spend at least a shred of time developing human characters for us to give a shit about. The first film does it, and that's why, as you said earlier in this review, it's special. Because the dinosaurs are the stars. Make no mistake, the dinosaurs, especially T-Rex, they're the stars of the first film. But you care about the human characters. You learn enough about them. You spend enough time with them to give a fuck about them. All of these sequels, and this film included, completely forgets that lesson. They want dino action, dino action, dino action, dino action. They throw it at you.
But they know the audience is like
lunchbox. They're packaging it, and before you knew it, you're selling it. You're selling it. You're selling it.
They're just likable enough for you to go, oh, I like Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt's
in bullshit.
And they're likable. They're likable, but they don't have that core of character that they did in the original.
The first film is a masterpiece, not because it has dinosaurs in it, but because they perfectly struck the balance of character development for both humans and dinosaurs, and it was literally
and how they wrote the characters too, Nick, and how they wrote the characters as well. So I mean, we could keep going. We could keep going.
Yeah, we went deep dive on this. We went deep dive on this, and I don't know how anybody else feels about this film, but let us know, please, over in the dumpster. But Justin, I'm going to throw it over to you first. Toss your number at me. Give it to me. Give it to me hard. Give it to me dirty. Give it to me like the lisp at happy hour.
I got to do this because I really think that Bayona deserves this. As a filmmaker, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I liked it. And that's what it says next to 7 out of 10 on my rating scale. I liked it. I still, on a surface level, enjoyed it. I had a lot of problems with it. On my second viewing, I definitely felt like a lot of the stuff that bothered me on the first time around, it didn't bother me as much because guess what? I am that hardcore Jurassic Park lover. Yeah. I do want to see the Tyrannosaurus bite the other dinosaur. I do want to see the Tyrannosaurus, spoiler alert, eat and destroy and rip in half the main villain in the film, even though he's not developed. It is what it is,
and that's not really a spoiler since that's so telegraphed from the very beginning of the film that it's.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you,
a foregone conclusion.
We don't do halves. We don't do 0.5s on the show.
No, we don't.
If we did, I would definitely be at a 6.5, but we don't do that. So for me, I have to round it up just because the direction, the cinematography, even Giacchino's score, which only uses the original theme when it absolutely needs to, I thought was good.
Giacchino, I love Giacchino. I love his work in terms of score work as well. I agree with you in a lot of ways about this film. I agree with you about Bayona in his direction of this film. I agree that Fuara shoots the absolute hell out of this film, especially in the second half of it. Even the beginning, even the volcano stuff, all the island stuff is just gorgeous. This film is shot beautifully. It's pretty to look at. It's the prettiest piece of shit since Prometheus.
It's not as bad as Prometheus. You're going way out of your way. There's way more enjoyable things. There's way more enjoyable things about this.
It's Prometheus, but
it's nowhere near as bad.
I'm not going to recommend this movie. I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. For me, it's literally these are the new Transformers movies to me, but instead of robots, they're dinosaurs. They don't care about human characters. All they care about is stringing it along just quickly enough, rushing you through until you get to the next action set piece. That's all they care about. And these are done far more artistically than the Transformers films. Let me definitely say that. Bayona, like literally, if I have to say a million good things, all 5 of those points are for Bayona and his direction.
So I have to ask you this, though.
And the cinematography, but I will not ultimately recommend the film.
But what about a Jurassic Park fan? So if you were on the side of the street and one of your good friends came up with a huge fan of the franchise, you wouldn't recommend it to them either?
No, because the Jurassic Park portion of this movie ends after they take the dinosaurs off the fucking island. After that, it becomes this kind of dark horror monster movie.
We still love seeing the. I mean, those dark horror elements are still in the first movie.
They are, but
I get it.
I get what
you're saying, but I mean. It's still got stuff that we have to love out of it. I mean, and if this is the direction they're taking the franchise, like I said earlier on, we're never going to get that awe moment again. It's never going to be the first film. So as a fan,
I just want, you know what I want? I want somebody who has the writing talent of a 5th grader to write the script for this, and that's unfortunately not Colin Trevorrow.
Who knows?
He's not fit to color in a fucking dinosaur
in.
coloring book.
Maybe we'll see someone step in that's going to take over writing duties and directing duties.
Like I said, he's not fit to color a Jurassic Park fucking coloring book at this point.
I get it.
Literally,
So
every single flaw that this film has is derived from its script, and that's 100% Colin fucking Trevorrow. It is what it is.
It is what it is. So for me, It's a 7. For Nick, it's a 5. We're not too far off. It's not like you're giving it a 2 and I'm giving it a 9. What were you expecting? Were you expecting me to love it like I did Jurassic World? Did you have any idea?
I knew you wouldn't when I came
Really?
out of it.
Okay.
I knew you wouldn't. I knew you'd have a higher rating than I did, but that's true of almost any movie these days. I knew that you would have a lot more problems with this than you did with Jurassic World because it doesn't have those nostalgia boner tingling moments that you loved about Jurassic World.
It has a couple. I mean, it does that we don't talk about, actually. A couple, but we're not. We were done talking about it. So
it does have a couple, but when I was watching this movie, I mean, you watch these movies in a different way than I do, and I know that, but there were still things about this that I was like, yeah, Justin's not going to like that either.
and believe me, I've hidden this from you, but I've been going on Jurassic sites, and there's a lot of fans that love it, and I understand because the opening is amazing.
The opening's great.
I love the opening. There are things that I do legitimately love, like I get goosebumps and I get excited about. It just sucks that the scene after those scenes come and then they're like really just cringeworthy. But a lot of fans are loving this. I've seen very few like hardcore fans actually shitting on it, and I've actually started debates and then I've actually deleted. I'm like, you know what? Just let them enjoy it. Let them love it, because in the world that we live in, Nick, right now, with the way Star Wars fans are, and let the fans love what they're getting. Let them appreciate it, whether it's good or it's bad. That's the way that I want to be now. Like literally, I want you to love it.
I want
people to like
things. I think at some point, and I think it was probably somewhere between The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3, this franchise began to move in a direction that was not for me. And I think it has continued in that direction. Trevorrow pulled it back a little bit, and now he kind of just let the tether back off of it again. I just think that the franchise as a whole, ever since the first film, has just moved in that kind of direction where it's not about what the first film was about anymore. That's why I said earlier,
well, it never will be.
You've got to let it go.
Can be.
We've got to let it go, and you've got to let this franchise just kind of be what it is. It's either for you or it's not. Yep. And for me, unfortunately, I think at this point it is not. So
the kids love it.
The kids,
so
the kids
remember
love this one.
It's true, man. And Spielberg is still approving these scripts. Just remember that.
Yeah,
so
it is true.
He's still getting that paycheck. But that's it.
We're almost done. So there you go. 7 for Justin, 5 for me. Fallen Kingdom. We're going to be right back after this brief interlude for a little bit of epic previews.
Coming to theaters this October.
We do get some fan mail for the list, but basically just people telling us that they love him.
It will take over.
He's not normal.
There's nothing to worry about.
When you least expect it.
You're gonna be just fine.
Who knows, man? He might just become me.
I think he and I would do a great show together.
I want to up your fucking ass so bad.
Everybody can really sink their teeth into it.
Dude, it's all him.
I'm your #1 fan.
Keep doing it, please.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
He's dead.
He's dead?
The medication's working great, and honestly, I feel like, if I stay sober...
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
He's not gonna come out at all. So I don't know why you're bringing any of that up.
You can't run.
He's becoming an entity all to himself. He's making things happen the way he wants them to happen.
You can't hide.
He's being whatever he wants to be.
From
Justin's list.
The list.
You sick fucks. You've seen way too many movies.
This film is not yet rated.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and you guys are awesome. We love our fans. I think we're
I love you.
To 150 episodes. We've gone through a lot of changes over those 150 episodes.
150, you said? That's a lot.
God damn.
150 episodes? How many have I been on? I don't even know.
Too many, probably. But it's just, you guys are amazing. We have the best fans in the world. We love you. If this is your first time listening to the show, if you listened all the way through our hour-long fucking diatribe about Jurassic Park, Fallen Kingdom, thank you. We really, really appreciate it. But
Jurassic
that's what we
Park,
do on the Epic Film Guys. We get in depth. We discuss. We don't just review. We analyze. We discuss. We get into a film. We dig into its nitty gritty. But we, come November, will be able to dig way deeper than we've ever dug on a film before, because Epic Film Guy Justin has a starring role, I think, in a film that's going to be coming out, a sequel to a film that both you and I absolutely loved. We're talking, of course, about Creed 2, which we are going to get into in a little segment we like to call Epic Previews.
In the world of Endicott, New York, and Herndon, Virginia, two epic film guys dissect the latest movie trailers in a segment we like to call Epic Previews.
We got this. You heard me?
In the ring, you got rules. Outside, we got nothing. Life hits you with all these cheap shots. People like me, we live in the past. You got people that need you now. You got everything to lose. This guy's got nothing to lose.
I ain't got a choice.
That's the same thing your father said, and he died right here in my hands. Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
But you don't think I could beat him?
The trailer blew me away. I mean, it could go either way, because Coogler is not in the director's chair for this one. Instead, we have Stephen Cable Jr., who has not done anything that I'm familiar with. I have not watched The Land or A Different Tree. However, from what I've heard, Coogler handpicked him for the film. There's some amazing visuals in this trailer.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Him, like, basically shadow boxing in a pool underwater. When have you ever seen that before? You know, for me, it's like, we had a couple people chime in when we posted the poster and the trailer for this on the page that actually disliked the first Creed, and I still, I'll go on record saying that
I went hardcore in defense of the first Creed film. I love that film, and it's kind of a weird movie for me, of all people, to jump like that ardently to the defense of. The first
you just
Creed's
rewatched it too, right?
Amazing. Yeah, I had just rewatched it not too long ago, and I mean, legit. Stallone, brilliant. Michael B. Jordan, brilliant. Tessa Thompson, brilliant. It's a great film. All those criticisms are 100% unfounded. Oh, they played the Rocky theme during Adonis Creed's fight. Who fucking cares? The whole point of the Rocky theme is the underdog, rooting for the underdog. You've got no chance, but we're going to put all of our fucking weight behind you. We're going to root for you anyway. That's the whole fucking point of Rocky, period.
Exactly. That's exactly that theme.
That
theme's been played
at
much more at times where it was less appropriate in the other sequels. But I agree with what you're saying. For me, I think that Creed is the second best as far as in terms of quality, character, story, direction, everything, right next to the first Rocky. It was a simple, easy way for them to go, hey, instead of quote-unquote rebooting this or remaking it, let's do it this way with Creed's son. We can still have those throwback elements, the nostalgia, but focus on a new character, because we can't do Rocky again, and no one is ever, again, this is probably even more so than Han Solo, you can't ever recast Rocky Balboa. Not ever happening. Not at all. So it was the right idea to go and continue the franchise.
A kind of gravitas to that character that literally, you could say what you want about Stallone as an actor, James. God damn it, James. But he, in that film, is just absolutely mind-blowing. And he really is able to sell the weight of... I mean, really, in the first Creed, Stallone's Rocky is a broken man. He's a broken fighter. Life has beaten him down to the point where he gets his cancer diagnosis and he doesn't care. He just is like, fine, I'll die then. Like, he doesn't care. And it takes Adonis Creed to save him. And I love that dynamic. I love that father-son dynamic that they get to play off of, because of course Apollo Creed died in Rocky IV. So you get just such a warm, amazing relationship. And when we come back in this trailer, Justin, you get, now the one thing I noticed about this trailer, and I don't know if they're doing this deliberately or not, and I don't know if we're going to see this as a plot point in the film or not, but you don't get a lot of Adonis and Rocky together in the trailer. Just that one scene. That's it.
And then you see, of course, you see Rocky visiting
Adrian's grave. Yep.
Adrian's grave. And that's fine. I think it needs to continue to push more towards focus on Adonis and less on Rocky.
Yep, I agree.
But I mean, definitely, that's the story I want to see. We see in this film, Adonis is definitely closer with Bianca. I don't know if they're married or not. They have a child together now, and the stakes are higher. It's definitely, harkening back to Rocky IV.
Well, again, he says in the trailer, he says he's going to rewrite history, and his adopted mother really is quick to point out that it's not about Apollo. It's not about his father. It's about him. It's about him proving something, and it's about him kind of maybe almost even kind of saving that Creed name. Kind of rebranding. Because the Creed
name was not necessarily tarnished, but when you watch Rocky IV, which
that's
I can't wait to watch on the big screen, is
he dies in
a few weeks.
And how great,
actually.
Dude, Stallone might even be gunning for another Best Supporting Actor nod here. Like that fucking scene of them outside of the fucking apartment.
I don't know,
when he talks about fucking holding Apollo Creed's head in his fucking, like when he dies in his arms and shit like that. Like you feel that a lot.
That's what's one of the most powerful scenes in Rocky IV. And as I was saying, luckily Loisos did program Rocky IV for 4th of July at Alamo for Film Club, so I'm super excited to see it on the big screen. But I mean, to prep myself to be on the set for Creed, I watched it the night before I got up at like 4 a.m. and drove to Philly. I watched Rocky IV before bed because you just had to get in that mindset, because you knew we need to get to Drago here. Okay, so this is Drago's son. You see nothing about him in the trailer for the movie.
Yep.
You don't see Ivan Drago. I love that they're just like kind of teasing what's to come. It's almost like when trailers used to tease things or used to hide things and like let it be a surprise. I saw the dude. He's a legit real fighter, and he's fucking huge. He's giant. When he came on set, he's a giant guy. I really want that to have that mystique, like that mythic quality, because Ivan Drago,
then you know what?
Say what you will about Rocky IV.
Don't watch any more trailers for this.
I know.
Don't watch anymore, because I guarantee you'll see him in a future trailer.
But I have to. I have to keep watching, because I need to point out the one corner of my head that will be in the film.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, our own epic film guy Justin, starring role. I hear second billing is going to come. He's even above Stallone, and this one's going to be Michael B. Jordan, Justin Esquivel, Sylvester Stallone. That's the way the billing's going to work out. Huge subplot in the film. But not only Justin, but also Jay from Super Movie Brothers.
Jay from Super Movie Brothers. We got to meet each other on set and hang out, and that's how.
As part of the crowd scene, Justin, you really can't talk about what scenes you're in and whatever. We'll find out.
I can say this much: there's a shot in the trailer.
It's a fight scene. Okay. We know it's one of the fights.
When we see Adonis Creed coming out with the lights that look like laser type lights behind him, if you look as a viewer, you're right. I'm right on the right side of him, right next to him. They definitely edited it and darkened it a lot because it was way brighter when we were shooting it.
Yeah, because they went through in post and they're like, "Who's that ugly motherfucker over there on this?" We gotta darken everything around Adonis right now.
They handpicked me out of hundreds of people to put me up close. I didn't ask. I didn't say, "Hey, me." They just like you and that guy. And they moved people around right up until the camera started shooting, and that's where I was. We're legitimately going to sell this like harder than anyone's ever sold anything. Like once this film comes out, we're going to be touting it as Justin's star turn. It's my first time ever in anything like this, let alone a sequel to one of my favorite movies of the past 5 years.
Yeah,
starring one of my favorite actors of all time, and one of my favorite actors that up and coming actors
of the current
right
generation,
now, Michael B. Jordan. It's the whole reason why I got to pump gloves with Michael B. Jordan. It's the whole reason why I got to meet Stallone and get the autographs of the main cast and everything. It's literally one of the best experiences of my entire life. I think the trailer looks great, and it's not just because, Nick, I was there on set and any of that at all. I would still be just as excited because I could not wait. I was a little bit wary about a sequel because I felt like the first Creed kind of said it all. But there's still more to be said, and I think that the route they're going with this looks good to me. The visuals look on par with what Coogler did. As long as it's almost as good as Creed 1, I'm good with it, and I can't wait.
I just want, and going back almost to Fallen Kingdom here, I want it to focus as heavily on its characters as Creed did. And I think that's why Creed is such a successful film, because it's not just every 2 or 3 minutes we're throwing you into a boxing ring for some fucking cheese fight. we're spending a lot of time developing the relationship between Rocky and Adonis. We're spending a lot of time developing the relationship between Adonis really and everybody, and his relationship with himself and his relationship with his dead father, who, you know, he kind of, no matter what, lives in the shadow of Apollo Creed. There's numerous times in the first film that it's mentioned that, you know, he's the best boxer that ever lived. Even Rocky refers to him as such, the best boxer who ever lived, you know, and it's really, really, really great that that film spends so much time focusing on those character beats, because then when you see those fights, it has real dramatic weight to it. This film has to do that again. It has to remember that the human relationships, the relationships between these characters are what drives the drama and drives the connection that audiences are going to have to this film. If you just go into this film and you fucking just keep throwing Adonis into either training sequences or fight sequences, whatever, it's not going to work. This trailer gives me hope. It gives me hope.
The lessons learned, I think, Nick, from the first sequel to Rocky 2, they know they have to try really hard to get close to the first film. So, I mean, at this point in time, this is not going to be a remake of Rocky 4, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone's like, it's going to be like Rocky 4 2.0.
If there's a fucking robot in this movie, I will walk out of the theater. I will straight up walk out of the theater.
What was that?
If there's a robot in this fucking movie, I'm leaving the theater. I'm walking out.
Dude, it'd be awesome if they walked down the street and saw a robot.
I hope I see that robot. I hope I see its head in a toilet and Adonis takes a big shit on it.
Everyone always asks, like, Stallone, why was there a robot in Rocky 4? And he was like, it was the 80s. And it's like, that's right. That's why there's a fucking robot that serves serves Paulie his fucking birthday cake.
Jesus
and is basically his sex slave. I mean, it's the 80s, dude. It's all about overindulgence. But, dude, away from all that, I'm excited for the film. I do hope that I do make an appearance. If I do, I will literally be the happiest guy you'll ever know. This year's been amazing.
I already told
me,
Justin.
Nick,
he ruined this film for me. He ruined it because I'm not going to be able to watch it.
I didn't spoil anything for you. I didn't tell you what it was about. Anything,
but literally the whole time during the fight sequences of this film, all I'm going to be doing is scanning the crowd, not watching Michael B. Jordan.
Okay,
or anything.
I'll tell you this much.
Scanning the crowd, trying to find you in the crowd.
The stuff that I shot, the day that I shot, Nick, only gets up until right about when the fight starts. I can tell you that much. That's not a spoiler. So, in any of the actual fight stuff, I was not present.
Who knows?
So
they might have taken your ass. They might have CGI'd your ass into the rest of the scenes. You never know, man. You never know.
You know, they yelled at me, right? They yelled at me, right? Because when they took a break, I was, because I'm right in camera the whole time. I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. It was like 11:30 at night. I'd already met Stallone. I already met Michael B. Jordan. I already got the autographs. And I'm like, I just need to piss. And when I went to piss, one of the PAs came over and she's like, why aren't you over there? And I'm like, I had to go to the bathroom. She's like, you know that we have to like rearrange everything once one of you moves out of the shot, right? Even if they're already in the ring, because you're there when we shot the scene where they came out. So you have to be there. So if you need to go to the bathroom, you need to tell me, or you have to wait for your assigned breaks. And I was like, dude, I had to piss, man. Like, sorry. It was my first realization of how tough being on a movie set is.
Would get to be an extra in Creed 2 and get yelled at by a production assistant for going to take a piss. Because Justin, notoriously, there's a reason, ladies and gentlemen, there's a reason why we take breaks on the Epic Film Guys podcast. And it's not because we want to talk about EFG history. It's not because we want to play promos for other shows or whatever else. It's because Justin has, I mean, literally, he consumes so much fucking liquid every day, water and beer and everything else. He's got to piss every 30 to 40 minutes, period. When we go to movies, he mentions this on the show sometimes when we review movies that he didn't pee during a movie. And when Justin holds it during a movie, it's got to be a really good movie. Because most of the time, even when back in the day when he lived here and we went to movies together, twice per movie, he was getting up and going to take a piss. Didn't matter what movie it was. Even if he came out of it and loved it, he has to piss. He just has to piss. So I'm glad that you got yelled at by a PA on the Creed 2 set.
And she was mean, dude. She was mean. She was sexy too. I'll tell you that much. Sexy chick, tattooed chick. But she yelled at me. She was mean. But she's also the same chick that handpicked me out of that whole crowd to put me where she put me. So hats off to her and that $75 that I made during that day of work and putting me on the set of a sequel to one of my favorite movies of the past 5 years.
It's going to ruin it for me. I'm not going to be able to watch like everything. All I'm going to do is be like, where's Justin?
They're going to black out my face.
Where? I'm going to buy the fucking Blu-ray and I'm going to be fucking freeze framing it all the way through every fucking fight. I'm going to pull every single still frame of him out of the fucking thing. I'm going to be like, look, here's Justin with Michael B. Jordan. Look, here's Justin 50 feet away from Sylvester Stallone.
I'm right next to him, dude. I'm legit next to him. The whole everything that I shot there right next to me. That's the only reason why I was able to actually come that close to them. So,
man. All right, so there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Man. Yeah,
Creed 2. Wrapping up on a really long session of epic previews, even though we only talked about one film. But I think it's a special film because, I mean, Justin's in it. How often do we get to say Justin's in a movie? Only like 4 or 5 times a year. And most of those are not the kind of films that you want to go to a theater and see. You want to see them in your bedroom.
Don't tell them about those. I don't want our fans to know about those. It may tarnish our image. They may think all this dick talk actually
more so than already.
Seriously, we are foul mouthed. I mean, you're foul mouthed. You're the foul mouthed.
Never once. Name one time I've ever sworn on the podcast ever.
I think I counted actually the F word 50 times tonight during Fallen Kingdom. I was marking them down. You probably didn't notice.
You got a little spreadsheet there where he marks down every.
That's what happens. That's what happens when Nick watches a movie that upsets him.
It is what happens when I start talking about movie, Colin Trevorrow's writing talent. I try to find new ways to insult him every time I mention it. So
filmmakers, just put a volcano in your movie that didn't exist in the previous films leading up to it. And have it.
You can put a volcano in your movie all you fucking want. A volcano is fine. Just understand what pyroclastic flow is. You can't fucking outrun it. Ask the people of Pompeii if you're able to outrun a pyroclastic flow. No, you're fucking not. And that's why they were frozen in fucking place for centuries until they got fucking found.
I would have loved to have seen people like surfing down the lava.
I would have rather seen that. I would have rather fucking seen that shit than any fucking thing else. I would have rather had they tried to drive a Jeep a la Dante's Peak through the fucking lava and the tires were popping and shit. Like fucking... And then the grandma jumps out of the boat and the boat's boiling and shit. The grandma's legs are fucking on boiling in the acid and never mind. Jesus. Man, Dante's Peak was
going off the rails tonight.
Linda Hamilton, speaking of which, Dante's Peak, we got that first image of her in Tim Miller's Terminator sequel.
Not official picture, but it was paparazzi that caught that. And Boy Sauce actually sent me that shot and was like, should we post it? And I said, yeah. That guy that didn't come on tonight to talk about Jurassic Fallen Kingdom,
it's kind of probably better than he didn't because we spent an hour talking about it. Like, imagine if the sauce were on.
I know he had a lot to say about it as well, but he sent it to me, and then he's like, "Should we post it?" I'm like, "We usually don't post stuff like that," but I was like, "Dude, she looks great in that shot," so I'm like, "Let's post it." And I don't think many fans had noticed that had been on the net yet, so. We posted it to the official Epic Film Guys Facebook, which, by the way, if you're listening to this and you're not on there, make sure to hit up our social media. All the social media sites.
Get over there to the page. Get over to the dumpster, the Holmster's dumpster, where you can interact with other fans of the Epic Film Guys podcast and, mostly just, post dumb shit. That's pretty much what we do.
That's what it's just literally, just like it says, it's a dumpster. Just go dump a bunch of movie-related crap in there and
dump a bunch of quarters in there so the Hopester can go get a double cheese.
I think that picture though, Nick, I think it's turning people's opinions a little bit more on the positive side about another Terminator. I mean, again, my number one anticipated movie of the year it's the new Halloween, and Jamie Lee Curtis being back in the Laurie Strode role is an exciting thing for me. So thinking about Linda Hamilton, and she looks like she's in great shape. She definitely got in shape for the role. She looks badass. I don't know how much she's going to be in the movie, but just seeing it kind of made me go, okay, Tim Miller, maybe? Is it possible that after all these sequels, we could get at least a decent sequel to T2? I don't know. I'm still very weary of it. I'm still so cautious about it. But what I said to my buddy Jeremy, who's a huge supporter of the Epic Film Guys podcast, I said, I hope that a trailer blows us away. I hope the trailer comes out and it's amazing and it kind of just changes everyone's minds, because it's not that a franchise like this can't continue on. It's just we've had the worst track record of sequels for this. I think even more so than Jurassic.
I already told you what's going to happen. They made John Connor a Terminator in the last one, so Sarah Connor is going to be a Terminator in this one. You watch.
If they do it, if they do that and I hear that spoiler before the movie comes out, I'm boycotting that shit. Fuck that. That's it, man. That's it for me.
We love you. Thank you very, very much as we roll into 3 years of the Epic Film Guys podcast. It is amazing to think that we've been doing this for so long. We've got so many amazing friends, so many amazing peers in the podcasting community, all of whom we love and respect and look up to, and we love you. And we've got a lot of different things planned for the future.
I just wanted to mention, though, I hope this trend continues. Since we're a podcast and this isn't a YouTube video, they don't see this, but I hope you continue to wear that fucking apron with all the cupcakes on it that you're wearing right now.
This is fans of the restaurant podcast are very familiar with this apron, because whenever I do cooking videos in the restaurant Facebook group, I'm wearing this apron and they love it.
Yeah, you're making me hungry. I think I might go and grab those Reese peanut butter cups.
You're going to go grab a double cheese from McDonald's, aren't you? Real quick.
I did. What did I eat earlier? I ate something. God damn it. I ate some fast food. Oh, it was Wendy's. That doesn't count.
Double cheese from Wendy's then. Okay, double cheese from Wendy's.
It doesn't count. It's not McDonald's.
It's not McDonald's. That's true. It doesn't count. But yeah, lots more changes, lots more evolutions in terms of the Epic Film Guys. So stay tuned. We've got a lot more fun stuff coming up. We're going to be starting up some promo stuff, some featured podcast kind of stuff maybe over the month of July, or maybe pushing into August. I'm not really sure when we're going to unveil that, and more to come.
We may even have a very special spotlight review.
Are we going to review Loy Sauce? Are we finally going to review Loy Sauce?
If he just keeps ditching us like this, we're going to have to give a full-fledged, in-depth review on him.
2 out of 10.
He'll deserve it.
2 out of 10. Worse than you.
2 out of 10. 2 out of 10 on his reliability. 8 out of 10 on his ability to put I know you give me shit for it, but I think he's the king of that.
No one's worse than the Sauce. We love you, Sauce.
We love you, the Sauce.
Yeah, he's an editing nightmare sometimes.
Boss, the Sauce. I understand. It's a very, very busy job being the creative manager in Alamo Drafthouse, and when he takes a couple of days off, he comes back to a whole load of shit he has to deal with, but he's passionate about film, and he loves coming on the show when he can, and more B-sides definitely coming. I didn't just buy that stupid handheld thing for nothing.
Yep.
We're going to do more videos.
More spotlights, more minisodes, and all the rest of the year, basically, through the rest of the year. Next Monday, we're going to be dropping one of the minisodes that we did with Paul from the Countdown, our top 10 movies that need a sequel. I may have done a few joke picks. Some of them may have been Judge Dredd 1995, much to Paul's chagrin. But we had a lot of fun with that. Paul actually joined us for 2 different segments on the live stream for The Cure, and all that great audio from the live stream for The Cure is going to be making its way out. I think we're going to alternate it kind of every other Monday, and then on the alternate Mondays, we're going to do spotlights, we're going to do mini-sodes, whether it's myself and Justin, whether it's myself with somebody else, Justin with somebody else, whatever. We're going to keep pumping content out for you guys.
Or a B-side, or something.
B-sides, spotlights, literally everything. Literally everything. We're going to package it out there for you guys. But until next time, you guys are amazing, and we love you. And Justin, happy 3 fucking years, man. By the time we start recording next week, man, we'll be 3 years deep. That means next week, when we do This Week in EFG History, I'll be pulling clips from episode fucking 1. Crazy,
which
man.
I was not a part of.
No, you weren't. And, well, Jesus. I rated Genesis way too high in that fucking review. That's still Dan Brennick's favorite episode of all time.
Because I wasn't on it.
Boom. Shake it up, shake it up.
Boom. Shake it up, shake it up. Boom. Shake it up, shake it up. But thank you very much. As Nick said, very humble there. We love you guys. We are what we are because of you.
Amazing. Thank you very much,
myself,
everybody.
For the sauce. For Eckhart.
Well, definitely for Eckhart.
Yeah.
We'll see
for
you
Knox.
at the movies.
I am Justin.
And I am Nick. And thank you all very, very much for listening. We'll see you next week for 150. Thank you very much, everybody out there. We will see you